Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ILR6 for round 13 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. My name is Leon and I am the ILR6 commentator. As I did say, it is round 13 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Sorry that the stream has come out a little bit later. I was in the middle of doing something, so apologies. But we're here now for the start. We've got a few yellow flags, obviously, because it's Belgium. Notorious for being tough, difficult, especially in mixed conditions, and there will be rain. I was told that there is rain in the race, I believe, towards the end / middle of the race. There's none at the start, though. Belgium, the longest track on the calendar lengthwise, I think it's like 5.4 kilometres. It is a very long lap time, into the 40s, 44s at the moment. But yeah, they're quite long, and that was actually a car behind Carmed's that was actually in the wall. There's a few tricky corners. Obviously, we've got a Rouge / Radion mainly. If your tyres are slightly overheated and you go up there wrong or lose the back end, you're probably going to go into the wall. You have got the legendary Prix, which is a left-hander, not flat. Cars aren't that good to take that corner flat. In real life, I think they can. But yeah, if you touch the inside curb, that is something that can ruin your race. You've got Blanchimont, that is a flat-out left-hander. In the rain, you can push the boundaries with that. If you want to try and push to see if you can go quicker and try and take that corner flat out. We're going over Sneaky for a little bit as he's down in the first sector just a tad. I will get the standings up in a second. So here comes Mr. Sneaky coming up to P1, as I mentioned. He doesn't go anywhere near that inside curve. He does run a little bit wide as well. The track limits on the exit, or not even the exit, on the outside of P1 are very strict. Now they're coming up to the end of the middle sector, this windy right-left. He gets wobbly on the AstroTurf on the exit. This right-hander, you need to really get a good exit, because that is what launches you onto this back straight as such. Leading up to Blanchimont, he was up by half a tenth. So he will get a slight improvement. This is now all flat out until he reaches the bus stop chicane, one of the slowest corners on the calendar, or the slowest two corners on the calendar. He's probably outbroke himself a little bit there, but decent exit from what it looks like. And from Mr. Sneaky, it's going to be a 1 minute 1 minute 43.8. So first person to get into the 43s. JTX is up by a tenth. He's going through the middle sector. He has got Scott just in front of him. Hopefully he doesn't impede his lap time. We're coming through the end of sector 2 now. He is up by half a second and will actually get a pretty nice tow from the Red Bull in front. I don't think that's Scott's intention. Scott, is he on a lap? He is. He's on a lap of his own. So I wonder what's going to happen here. Ooh, Scott has He's taken a defensive line, which has slightly ruined JTX. JTX, though, still to the line, improves by a little bit, but I would say did get impeded there by Scott. I don't think it was anything to warrant maybe a steward's, but he did take, for some reason, a weird defensive line going into the bus stop chicane. I don't really get why. More yellows in sector 3. It might be Joe. No, it's not. We've got 5 minutes left. Joe has come out in a pretty... put himself in a bit of a predicament, to be honest. He's come out with 5 minutes to go. This will be his last lap, because by the time he gets round, there'll be 4 minutes to go. He sets the lap. Then it'll be 2.5 minutes. It will be his last lap, and then unless he comes in and boxes again. We've got Big Zuri, who is coming up Eau Rouge and Radion now. Obviously, everyone either selecting the softs or the mediums, or the mediums. And he's up by 4 tenths in the first sector. It's because of the rain. They are risking it on the mediums, thinking they will obviously go to the rain. The softs might not. It is a soft to medium strategy if it is dry. But with it being this race will be rain affected, the medium tyre will not be bad. The hard is probably too, it lasts too long into the race. It's not a good enough tyre. It's too slow. So I think the medium will be the optimum for everyone. I do have the standings up now, so I'll quickly go through them. Nipro is winning by 62 points over Jaruru. So he's got an absolute ginormous advantage, and Jaruru isn't even racing. Patuka is. Actually, wait. Patuka's not racing. So Nipro can easily extend his advantage in the championship. Joe is in 4th with 69 points. B is on 62. Ushin is on 60. Aledi 55. Bastos 50. ESD Mats 45. I think. Scott, 44. Stiggy 39. Bigsley 38. Speed Iceman 37. Heavy T 35. He was looking good for the first half of the season and now has really dropped off. Not scored points since Monaco, so it's just not gone well, obviously, since Monaco, which was coincidentally the last wet affected race. So perhaps could do well again, but he's not even here, so that does not help his situation. JTX is on 15 points. We do then have Johnny on 14 points. Johnny did have the pace last week, or he's had the pace on just a random amount of times this season. I don't really get how he just randomly just pops up. He's another one of the drivers who are not racing today. Carl Meds is on 2 points. Not great, but it's points on the board for Williams. They've got a better chance here. There's only 16 drivers. Usually we have 19, 20. A few less drivers might help. Scott retires down in 14th, so that is it for him. Muffin on 1 as well. So it is a good chance for both of them. Muffin currently sat in 4th place. We then have Newell, who's on 0, and Mike, who is on 0. Both of them will be looking to get off the 0 mark. Newell isn't here, but Mike is, so he might. Now switching to the constructors' standings. Alfa Romeo once again lead. They're on 247 points. Mercedes are on 140. Haas 135. Then it is Racing Point 129, Renault 126, Ferrari 117, Toro Rosso 114. That is a ginormous battle there in the constructors between Jesus, a lot of drivers, a lot of teams. Mercedes, Haas, Racing Point, Renault, Ferrari, Toro Rosso. They're all in the mix. McLaren on 82. They're not that far behind. Red Bull, they're on 58. Need a bit more catching up. They've not had a good result since Germany. And Williams, as Nipro goes provisional pole with a 143.7. Simics retires. But yeah, Williams obviously bottom with 3 points. Realistically, 4 points actually. There must have been a predecessor who got a point for them. Nipro is retired as well. Mr. Sneaky. Got to watch out for him. The clouds are coming in, but I don't think rain will be affecting the qualifying session. JTX is just starting a lap as well, but we'll keep on board with the McLaren and Mr. Sneaky, as he looks like he is the one to challenge for pole position, and he actually sets, didn't actually tell me, an identical first sector. Wow. He sets an identical first sector. So he's not up and he's not down. So it's not bad, but could do with a bit of improvement as he comes up now to P1. A much better line than he took beforehand. Gets much more speed through the corner. Coming now through the windy bits, then could turn in 13, 14, 15, I believe. Let's see if he's up or not. He only needs to improve by half a tenth, and he has got pole. Coming through the end of sector 2, he's up by 2 tenths, but he did run a little bit wide, so he's going to start to lose that time now, as it's just one massive straight to the final chicane. You have to take the ideal line through Blanchimont. That can lose you a bit of time, and the gap he's got currently with Nipro, that could probably lose him the whole pole position. But here comes Sneaky now. He's run out of ERS, but anyway, coming up to the line, Mr. Sneaky, will it be quicker than what for the final chicane as he did before? Mr. Sneaky to the line, does a 1 minute 43.7, and he is improved by a tenth, and he goes provisional pole. Sippy, watch out for him as well. A lot of people are retired and just giving up on the laps. Don't count out Sippy. He's up by a tenth. He needs to gain another 3 tenths to be in with a shout, but don't count him out. I think JTX has gone 7th for their 44.4. We'll see what Sippy does coming through the sector 2 split any moment. He is up by 3 tenths, so he's up there. He just needs a pretty good final sector, and he could nab pole position. There was someone in front of him, which could be his teammate Stiggy, actually. No, Stiggy's behind him. Speed Iceman is next to cross the line. What can Speed Iceman do? Currently down in P15. What can the McLaren driver do? It's going to be a 1 minute 45.1. Sippy to the line. It's provisional pole with a 43.6. Stiggy to the line. Goes 5th. I don't know what the lap time was. I think it was a 44.4. But Sippy takes pole position. I believe it's his first one of the season. So pretty good there from the Haas driver. Yeah, he gets pole position by half a tenth over Mr. Sneaky. And that is your top 2 in your front row. Nipro, championship leader, down in 3rd. But that is possibly one of the better places to start, as you've got the run down the Kemmel straight into the chicane, or whatever it's called. Then you've got Biggsy on a set of mediums. Got to watch out for him. He's in 4th. Sticky in 5th. Muffin in 6th. Good for Williams. Mike in 7th. JTX 10th. Simics 9th. And NWB in 10th. That's your top 10. Everyone outside the top 10 is Joe, B, Iceman, Carmeds, Bastos, and Scott. So this could be a good race. Wet affected as well. So people could be on wet setups. We don't know. It's a very overcast to begin with. So yeah, you can definitely tell that rain is on its way, and perhaps the rain might come earlier than predicted. It is Codemasters. They have just recently signed, or actually today, they signed a new contract with Formula 1. So we will get Codemasters games until 2025, until more contract negotiations take place. Obviously, you've all probably seen the 2021 regulations and what the car looks like. And if you want to hear my views on it, it's alright. I think the cars will be slower. I think they look like they're going to be slower. Ross Brawn, it was pretty implicit that it is a lot more robust, which is probably going to make the car slower. The car's way more. So, yeah, I think it'll be slower, but for the sport it will be better. But let's not talk about 2021, let's talk about F1 2019 and ILR6 and the Belgian Grand Prix. So, everyone inside the top 10, obviously on the tyres that they qualified on. Sippy on the softs, Sneaky on the softs, Nipro on the softs, Stiggy on the softs, Muffin on the softs, Mike, JTX and Simics on the softs, Top 10 on the mediums. We have got NWB, who creeped into the top 10 in the Renault, which could be his debut actually, and Big Zuri, who was 4th. Pretty good qualifying for Big Zuri. The clouds are coming in. Bear in mind the formation lap does count. The clouds move in during the formation lap, so I reckon the rain's going to come down earlier than predicted. People in the chat, put your predictions for top 3. I'm going to go with Bigsby to win, Nipro second, and ooh, who am I going to go with for third? We've got Bigsby first, Nipro second. I'm going to go with a shocker of Muffin for third. I think we could see a Williams, currently on 4 points, but this is his chance. This is their chance. This is the best chance they may get all season. If you're wondering why there's a few less drivers, I would put the reasoning probably down to trick-or-treating, because obviously it is Halloween. Happy Halloween. To everyone, it is Halloween today. There'll be a lot of trick-or-treating. Not really into it myself. That was a couple of years back. Was that rain? Oh, it's raining on the formation lap. As I said, the clouds move in during the formation lap, and we've got a bit of rain. So the starts are going to be interesting here. We have got a wet start on a dry track. Oh, well, it's raining. You get my drift. But anyway, awful camera angle. We've got 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. And away we go for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. It's a pretty good start from the drivers. Very good start from Mr. Sneaky. He's going to try it around the outside into turn 1. Sippy's got the inside line. He's going to try and give Mr. Sneaky a squeeze. I think he's got the move. 4 camera at the moment. Sneaky's all over the back of Sippy and just needs to get a little bit of toe down the Kemmel straight, and he's got him into turn 1. Hopefully no one loses it up over Rouge and Radion to create an absolute pile up. Mr. Sneaky, there is someone off. I think it's Speed Iceman and Simix, but I'm not sure. I'm not talking about it right now. We'll go with Nipro as Sippy and Sneaky go side by side. Going into turn 4. Oh, there's not room for 2 cars through there. They're smart managing it. I think Sippy's got the run for now. Sneaky may look for the switchback though. Don't think he'll go for it into Brussels. No, he doesn't. Everyone keeps holding position. One person who was lost out there is Speed Iceman. Doesn't look like he's got visible wing damage. He may have just got a little bit of a spin. But yeah, and the rain's now stopped. Oh, so we did have a wet start, but not anymore. And now Mike is going to try to get past Muffin. Muffin's going to keep it down the inside. And he's now going to try it around the outside of this left-hander. Now we'll get the inside into the corner before the sets 2 split. I believe it's turn 15. I'm slightly confused by the rain. We had a few drops on the formation lap, and now the rain's just ceased. I'm not sure why or how. It's not the usual F1 games to have momentarily have rain. Oh, and we've got 2 cars going side by side for Blanchimont. NWB, who is currently on a different planet. Oh, Sneaky, where's he gone? What's happened to Sneaky? He's gone off the track, and he's dropped down to 5th. There is rain now, definitely. What happened to Mr. Sneaky? He's dropped down to P5. There's a bit of wing damage from someone. I think it's a Williams and Muffin. Yes, Muffin has got a bit of wing damage. He's made a bit of contact there with Mr. Sneaky. The rain is coming in now, so people better watch out. Up a Rouge and Radio. Oh, Muffin going off the track. The rain is coming down. Oh, bad time for my controller to disconnect. I apologise. And Sneaky now is having a look at Big Zuri down the inside. Big Zuri should have the better grip at this point. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because my YouTube stream has completely died on my end. No, it is there. Sneaky cannot get past, but the rain is coming down a little bit hard. Nipro took the lead. Sorry I didn't say that. I was too focused on this battle. Now through pit 1, anyone going to lose it? Bigsby with a pretty poor line. And actually, Muffin's had a bit of a worse line. NWB has lost a position to Mike. Will he send it back down the inside? Yes, he will. Mike leaving the door open again. He did it beforehand on the last lap. Oh, almost a bit of contact between the two as B has passed. Oh, Mike is off and into the wall, which I believe is turn 14. JTX and Simics are going side by side. I think Simics has wing damage from what I just saw of that picture. Sneaky's out as well. Oh, big collision. He's hit the wall that's sticking out, leading onto the straight. And he is completely totaled that McLaren as his teammate drives right past. And there is a VSC. Obviously, the track isn't wet enough yet. But we have got 2 retirements. Obviously, you do not want to pit because intermediates are going to happen pretty soon. And how long the VSC will last, that is the question, because if Sippy gets a good launch here as we're approaching Rouge and Radion, if it ends now, Sippy's in for a good one here, but Nipro's got a pretty good gap. And yeah, Nipro's going to be fine now as we're pretty much going into the corner, and the VSC is lasting quite long. And DRS has been enabled. Obviously it is still raining and the grip is decreasing. We've got JTX and Simmons going side by side again. I'm sorry for the controller. I can't really sort that. It's been a bit of a nuisance. But yeah, Simics with the move done on JTX. Now they go side by side again, coming through no name corner. JTX, he's gonna, yeah, he just back out in the end. Carmed's now out having a look on them mediums. Hasn't got any wing damage. He's going to send it down the inside of P1. And they both go off the track. Scott's going to say hello here. Gets one of them. So JTX loses out on a position. Drops to 12th. This is a tasty battle for P9. The controller is really annoying me now. In these unpredictable conditions. Oh, Muffin and NWB. NWB is absolutely lagging all over the place. We don't even know what track he's at the moment. But he has got the move. Oh, no! Muffin spun! Oh, and he's hit the wall very hard. Oh, no. Oh, thank God there's a ghosting system. But Muffin clips the inside curb. Oh. Did Speed Iceman get damaged as well? Speed Iceman's in the pits. Muffin's in the pits as well. This will be for intermediate tyres. Simic's got a 3-second time penalty. Carmeds is still battling. The rain is coming down relatively hard at this point. And Bigsy's out! Oh no, he's lost it up over Rouge and Radion. Oh, there's someone else out! Joe! He's into the wall as well. At Radion. What is going on here? Drivers are finding it difficult in these conditions. And is Muffin stuck in the pits? No, he's not. He's on a set of softs, and I do not see why. Absolute carnage here as Carmeds has gone off the track. The track is getting too wet, I think, for these drivers. But the DRS hasn't been disabled yet. Muffin has left the session, so now we have got 4 retirements. Speed Iceman is experimenting on the intermediate tyre, which doesn't look quick, but he is catching Joe, but Joe hasn't got much of a front wing left, so it's not much of a good example. I'm pretty sure it's intermediates now. The drivers really are struggling to keep these cars in one direction, in the direction they want to go. We'll see what Nipro does, because I guarantee the rest behind will just do follow the leader. It does look unbearable at the moment. I wonder if he will box. And he is going to box. Pretty wise idea. Oh, hello. Stiggy carries on. NWB has completely missed his braking point and is carrying on as well. What about B? B pits. So we've got a mix. I've not seen DRS be disabled yet. So intermediates for Nipro. I want to see how Stiggy takes Rouge and Ruddy on here. A lot of people are pitting now for the intermediates. How is Stiggy going to take this corner? Very, very, very tentatively. Same with NWB. He has to actually physically cut the corner. We'll see how Nipro takes it now. A lot of grip. Sippy, not much. And there's a big gap from 4th to 5th. Wowee. No, we don't know which tyre is the best at the moment. DRS has been disabled, so the intermediates are the best. Pretty wise idea from Nipro that, and obviously everyone's followed the leader in. Not a wise call from Stiggy and NWB. This P1 now will be the next challenge. Jesus, that is slow from Stiggy. NWB's taken that pretty quick, to be honest, so he's gained a little bit there on Stiggy. Can these drivers crawl back to the pits at such a slow speed? And crawling back. Just got Blanchard on to tackle now. Doesn't want to clip the inside curb, takes it very cautiously. NWB pushing a lot harder and gaining a lot of time. Oh, well, NWB is, oh, he's got a very tight pit lane here. Oh, and he's hit the wall. I don't know how hard. But Nipro takes the lead on lap 6. We're only on lap 6 of this race. Obviously, it's a set intermediates of both of them. And NWB's got away with that. Wowee. Sticky and NWB coming up the pits now. Where's B in correlation to these? He's out just behind, just ahead of B, as Simics and Iceman are going side by side into turn 1. The weather's not affecting these two on the battles. Just like Servant takes it. Scott with a bit of a wobble going up Raddy on there. Bastos as well. But yeah, no DRS now. And Iceman for some reason staying out of the slipstream. When that is kind of the only way to overtake, and he's staying out of the slipstream. It's a bit of a weird option, but hey-oh. Oh, was that someone? No. Sippy and Nipro, the gap staying the same. Sippy is catching a little bit, so we may have a wet setup, which does help. I just see a piece of carbon fibre fly off. It wasn't Nipro's though. I think it was just their set from earlier. We're not going to go on board with NWB as he's got the engine revving glitch that's still in the game. As Bixby leaves the session, was on for a pretty good race. On the mediums, mediums wasn't the best strategy. Oh, we've got NWB going off there and getting a 3-second time penalty for it. His internet connection, to be honest, isn't great. He is lagging quite a bit. And the rain is coming down, not that heavy, so I don't think we'll see the full wets be introduced this race. I just, you know, gotta look at everyone go up Eau Rouge just in case. Oh, and there's the just in case. Oh, and he's off into the wall. Speed Iceman losing it at Erosion Radion. That is why you have to look at people when they go up this corner, because if you push too hard, that is the result. So we're down to 11 drivers, and Carmed's in the points. Williams, I said the decent chance. I did say Muffin was going to get a podium. That's wrong. I did say Biggs was going to win the race. That's wrong. So yeah, but my podium prediction has gone completely wrong. Unless Nipro gets second place, which I don't see happening. This race has got a little bit dull. It kind of is when it's wet. It's fun because drivers do make errors. That's the fun part about it, but it's not great. As we go down into the chicane, Stiggy's been caught by NWB. Into turn one we go. He's off on centre one. Oh, Sippy! He's now gone off at Erosion Radion. Someone's off as well, Joe. He's off at Blanchimont, so we've got a double wave yellows here in both parts of the track. More mistakes and drivers. Bastos looks like he's going to lose it at one lap or another. Simics very cautiously. Carmed's doing alright there, but Sippy now has got to limp back to the pits with no front wing. He is pretty lucky that he's not actually lost a wheel, because binning it with Perugian Radion usually ends in disaster. As we now see Stiggy, who's going to absolutely glide past his teammate. And all these cars, as Sippy's trying to get out of the way of them all. Not well there for the Haas driver. Who is now limping. Oh, Scott. Almost going in the wall behind him. And Sippy, oh, that's gravel, that's gravel. He's trying to avoid everyone. But yeah, Sippy was on for a pretty good race there. And my prediction of Nipro getting second, I think, is well out the window. And he's going to win this race by an absolute massive margin. As we got, oh, B and NWB going at it. As Sippy is just causing more yellow flags. We'll go on board with JTX. Will B go down the inside into turn one? No. There was quite hard contact between the two, but I don't think any damage was done to either car. We'll go check out Stiggy, pretty close. Oh, NWB just completely disregarding Radion as Sippy retires, so we're down to 10 drivers now with 13 laps to go, not even halfway through the race now. Now it's a case of if you finish, you get points, or if you complete 90%. And 90% is about 20 laps. Lap 20, lap 21, and that sort of thing is 90%. Scott picks up a 3-second time penalty. B is looking destined to get the move done here on NWB. But he's really looking for it. He might go for it into the chicane like I think NWB did last time. No, he takes a very cautious line through Blanchimont, so that cancels his opportunity there. But NWB again sliding too far, going deep into the chicane. Allowing B to close right back up. You've got JTX in there as well. You've got Scott not far behind. You've got Bastos just behind him as well. NWB again going deep. But B is not able to capitalise. Nipro's just on his own. Stiggy, bit of a dodgy line. NWB again disregarding that. Bastos decides to join in on the disregard Radion part. Simics as well. Carmeds just take it normally. Back up with the battle for P3 at the moment. NWB actually could be catching Stiggy here, so it could be quite a big battle here for P2. Obviously there is no DRS because it is wet. Bastos, who was quite close behind Scott, has lost a big chunk of time. NWB is now once again losing time to Stiggy, so the battle for P2 is probably not going to happen. It's just a battle for P3. I don't know how long this race is meant to last. It could be the entirety of the race. Oh, and B down the inside as NWB makes an error. Oh, side pod contact. We're going with JTX as he goes side by side for this right-hander leading up to this straight. Oh, a great run from JTX. And NWB is not going to go for it into Blanchimont. There is no way. NWB pretty hesitant through Blanchimont. He's going to have a look around the outside. Wow, that's good braking there from the Renault. What a move by NWB. But now you've got JTX to look out for. JTX has passed B. Doesn't go for it. Oh, we just tapped the back of NWB. But yeah, that was an excellent move by NWB around the outside of the bus stop chicane. He's been going deep. That could be his genuine line. He, once again, disregarding that corner. How is he getting away with that? I do not know. But it's not a good exit though. And here comes JTX. He's not close enough though. He's got to try and outbrake. NWB doesn't get it done. And I think we'll have to stick behind. As now pretty much everyone's joined in now. It's a battle from 3rd down to 7th. And yeah, this is the only action we've really got. It's a lot of action though, considering it's a wet race. B looking destined to get past JTX, as JTX doesn't seem to have the pace. He kind of just got past B because B was slowed down by NWB. It's a bit weird to say this, B, NWB, BB, I don't know. And JTX is quite close now. Joe with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, that's a good run from JTX there. Really putting more speed into Blanchimont than NWB. NWB with a pretty good defensive line. Goes deep though. JTX will cover that off. Not cover that off, but go for it. NWB goes deep again into the second part of the bus stop chicane to ensure JTX doesn't try it on the exit. And once again, as we start lap 12, nothing happens between these lot at the moment. Bastos is dropping off a little bit. And Stiggy disregarding that corner. NWB gets a penalty for disregarding the corner this time. And a pretty normal line there. Carmed's doing very well actually. Upper Rouge and Radion. Really seemingly has got the car settled. He's currently on for 2 points, maybe 3, so it's not bad there from the Williams driver. But yeah, the gap between NWB and Stiggy is remaining the same. But B really wants to get past. B had the chance last week to get a podium and fluffed it. We can say that, he did fluff it. So we're getting my keyboard. JTX close to NWB once again. NWB is gained by half a second on Stiggy. Stiggy is it's just a mile behind Nipro. Nipro is just absolutely flying. 22.5 seconds. He's leading by. Stiggy now, watching Upper Rouge and Radion as it's where people are losing it. We've seen probably 4 or 5 people bin it in the wall up here. Everyone seemingly is taking that pretty nicely. Bastos, out of all people, would be the next one to go, I think. Up there. And once again, nothing does happen. And everyone's just going to have to stay behind. Oh, as we've got a switch of position, Joe is up into the points. And the rain's coming down pretty heavy now. If I was to say so myself, the rain's getting heavier. I do see a few puddles emerging. We could be transitioning to the wets. The intermediates won't make it to the end. We could see a transition to the wets. The weather's definitely coming down a lot harder than it was before. And Nipro is in just as I was mentioning that. And that is another set of intermediates going on the Alfa Romeo. And that's basically a free pit stop. So he's going to come out in the lead as JTX pits. I thought something had happened. JTX is in, so is Bastos. I doubt he leaves in the pit for wet. No, it's another set of intermediates for JTX. And JTX has been held a little bit. It's just for a little bit more of his troubles. Simic gets up a few positions. And that is some intermediate tyres for Bastos. Bastos has timed that pretty well because he's not actually been held. Carmide is in as well. I guarantee this will be for intermediates. And yes, it is. But yeah, the rain is coming down quite hard. All the battles have kind of deceased now. Yeah, there's not really much to go on about right now. Scott is closing in on B, as B did make a mistake there into the no-no corner. Both these drivers have not pit yet. the vision whilst following the car, as you can see here, is not great. It does look like the wets would come into play, but obviously the difference between the wets and the intermediates isn't that great. So we'll have to see. Will Stiggy come in? No, Stiggy carries on. NWB carries on. And they all carry on. There's no way they're going to the end on them tyres. Tyres will not last. As we start lap 15 now. And Simits picks up, I believe it could be his third or fourth penalty of the race. Yeah, not much to really commentate about. Gaps over a second. It's wet. It's Belgium. If anyone in the chat has got anything to say about ILR, about F1 2021, feel free. As believe it or not, as I'm here to entertain you. As commentators are to entertain you, we obviously get entertained by what we're watching, and we just help in a way relay it to you, and put our voices and opinions over it. Yeah, when there's not really much happening, we can't really commentate, which is a shame. Scott is creeping back into that second range of B, but there is no DRS, so being within a second of someone in the wet is pretty useless. See if any of these drivers do pit. I still don't believe his tyres will go to the end. Sticky carries on, NWB carries on, B carries on, Scott carries on, no, and Simits carries on into the wall at Blanchemont. It's pretty good that I spotted that. That is something to commentate on. He's clipped the inside curb, obviously, at Blanchemont. I think we saw Speed Iceman do that, and we saw Muffin do that. A few drivers have done that. The two spots that have caught people out so far this race is Eau Rouge and Radion. That's the main suspect. And also the inside curb at Blanchemont. People seemingly clipping it. It's an auto spin curb. In the dry you can get away with it, in the wet you will not. As we're on lap 16, NWB is closing in on Stiggy. He's obviously gained that gap quite quickly in the past few laps. And if someone in the chat can say how long intermediates last, I am not sure that if they last 16 laps. That's... Intermediates do not last long at any track. They do not have good tyre life. So I don't know how these guys are going to be able to cope towards the end of the race. Nipro, I don't want to commentate as curse him, but has won this race. He's pitted and is still 10 seconds ahead. It will be into the 30 seconds, I believe, if Stiggy was to pit. We'll see if Stiggy pits this lap. I doubt it, but nope, 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 no. And JTX isn't the one to clip the inside curb. Bastos almost did. But yeah. nothing much is happening between these guys. Nipro, not really talked about him much all race, qualified third. I said it wasn't great being the championship leader, but he's going to gain a hell of an amount. I think it is 25 points he is actually going to gain. So he will have a lead of 87 points. So the championship is basically looking like it's going to be his. He'll need a magnificent bottle at his disposal to somehow lose it. Magnificent ball. If I look at the standings once again, yeah, he's leading by 62 points over Jaruru, who isn't here. Batuka is 67 points behind. He's not here either. Joe, 10th. There's 1 point. So, and Joe's in 4th. And he's 100 points behind as it is. That's before this race is even accounted for. This will be his 4th win of the season. For Nipro, he's not won a wet affected race this season, so it will be his first, unless something happens. Touch wood, something does not happen. Would be exciting, but he does deserve the race win. NWB has lost all time now, suddenly on them intermediates. I'm sure Nipro could probably pit again and still win. But we'll see what these drivers do. You obviously can't see the wear on the intermediates. Oh, NWB clipping the inside curb. He's really testing the boundaries there. Have a look at Stiggy at out pit. That's a very awkward line. He actually went off the track on the exit. Now NWB can gain a little bit, but yeah, none of these drivers are pitting. You can't see how the tyres look. Steve got unfair 10-second stop go penalty, got punted by NWB at first stop. Oh, I didn't even notice that. He got a 10-second time penalty apparently. I'll try and not look. I don't really want to have a look. It's a bit of a shame. I'll have a look quickly though. Down here for a 10-second. There's a 5-second up there. Yeah, he got a 10-second for corner cutting. So yeah, that's probably where he got it from, colliding with NWB earlier on in the race. No podium interviews again. I know this race is going to end earlier than most, somehow, considering it's wet and it's Belgium. But everyone joined in early. There's a few less drivers. No safety cars. Everything has gone smoothly. Which is what you love to see. There'll be 25 minutes after this race until ILR 4, 5 and 1 begin. You can watch them all on the ILR channel or Inside Line Racing League channel, which is the one we're on now. It's set to 1, and I'm guessing that is an Eau Rouge, or not, or nothing. Is it Joe? Joe has got a bit of wing damage, so I reckon Joe has lost it up Eau Rouge and ran it on. Which is a shame. As Nipro starts his 4th to last lap, and yeah, he's just dominated, hasn't he? Definitely dominated. Don't think these guys are going to push the waters. NWB is really track extending. If someone were to report that, I think he would get a penalty for it. It's quite a big cut he's doing every single time. I would like to check his warnings, but it would ruin it. Oh, yellow flag is set to 3 now. Oh, Simics has had an off at the bus stop chicane. So, not great from the racing points today. Well, fastest lap is no one. Or it's going to go to Nipro for the 52.3. Civics is a god, OMG, he's so quick, show that big boy. Well, he's not... I'm not trying to say bad about him, the rain has died down as well. He's not exactly quick, as if he is so quick, he would be winning, wouldn't he? He's currently 9th, he did just make a mistake. I did just show him on screen a couple of minutes ago. When he did put it in the wall. So yeah, he is sandbagging ATM. That is very toxic. No, I'm not trying to be toxic. And if I was to also check last race, he last week in Hungary, he finished P13. So I'm not being toxic. I'm just stating what I can see, which is the job of a commentator as such. As we're on lap 20, nothing much is happening. Yeah, he got lapped. If you're about last week, okay. But still, he will get points today, so credit to him, he's survived. Getting a little bit lucky with his spin as such in the bus stop chicane. Not losing any front wing, but he will be 2 points unless something does happen. But Nipro has just dominated this race. The gap is 15.5 seconds. The rain is practically at a standstill at this point. Stiggy has got a 10-second time penalty for that collision he had with NWB. Oh, and he's... For once, it's Stiggy abusing Radion, and then NWB taking the correct line, which is quite funny. But I think we'll go on board with Nipro for the remainder of this race, unless something happens down the grid. But yeah. Nipro to extend his championship lead to 87 points. I'll just update you guys on ILR8 and ILR7. In ILR8, I don't believe the race has finished yet. Well, the race has. Never mind. I will try and tell you what happened. Norwich City 12, whoever that is, won. And in ILR 7, J. Luke. Looks like he's going to win that race. He's currently winning by 8 seconds and is starting the penultimate lap. Meanwhile, Nipro will focus back on to us. ILR6, Nipro starting the last lap to what will be a very, 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 very comfortable win for the Alfa Romeo driver. His 4th win of the season. And yeah. The GOAT of ILR6. Just check on these guys as they go Peau Rouge and Radion. Rain's coming down a little bit harder. I don't think Scott's going to get the move done on Stiggy. Not Stiggy, and B. Takes it normally, takes it normally, takes it normally. Takes it normally and takes it normally. Ooh, not really normally from Bastos. He does survive though. Fair play to Carmeds as well, who is going to get his best finish this season of 4 points, which doubles Williams' points tallies. They'll be on 8. So not bad there from Carmeds. We'll go back on board with Nipros. He's come through Pouon for the final time. He's up by 8 tenths on his current lap. So he's pushing to the finish. Similar to the 3-second time penalty. Here comes Nipro though, coming up through Blanchimont. He's got the gap above 20 seconds now, so that is an absolute achievement considering he's on a 2-stop. Here comes Nipro through Blanchimont for the final time. Takes it nice and comfortably. Here he comes into the final chicane. Takes it absolutely wonderfully. That shows his entire race. Smooth, easy sailing. And Nipro comes up to the line. Oh wow, he's really slowing down and goes... That is a bit of a... that's a bit of a disrespectful move. If I was to say so myself, I'm not exactly a fan of that. But Stiggy... Oh, Scott! And, oh my god, they're going to go 3 wide, Scott! He's had to try and out-traction B, he can't... Oh, what has happened there? That's an absolute jumble of mess. B is in 2nd. JTX 3rd, Bastos 4th, Scott 5th, NWB 6th, Stiggy 7th, minus the 10 seconds, and Stiggy will go 2nd. Carl Meds is gonna cross the line in P8. Very good there from the Williams driver. And then we've got Simics. Crosses the line in P9. And finally, Joe, who, yes, he's 4th in the championship, but 1 point is not great. But here he comes for the final chicane. He will get the point, so at least he's carried on. And there he goes to cross the line. Pretty long and a pretty wet Belgian Grand Prix. There's the top 3 celebrate, mainly Nipro for another win in ILR6, and is looking set for the championship already. So, Nipro is your winner. B's in 2nd, JTX 3rd, Bastos 4, or JTX 3rd, that is a top 3 in your podium. It's a podium, or the first podium of the season for B and JTX. By the way, this is provisional. Stiggy may get his 10-second time penalty removed, and he will go up to 2nd. Bastos is 4th, Scott 5th. Best finish of Scott so far this season. NWB 6th, Stiggy 7th. Carmed's 8th, best finish so far for him this season. Simic Snipe and Joe 10th. That is all your finishers. All the points positions outside the top 10 didn't finish. Muffin, Sippy, Iceman, Bigsby, Sneaky, and Mike did not finish. So that's been it from me, Leon. This has been the Belgian Grand Prix. This has been ILR6, and yeah, we'll see you for round 14 Monza.